This morning I'm in Batubulan. It's a place that I don't know a lot about, but it has a bit of a reputation. My memory of this place is as it being a bit of a transit town, a massive bus terminal there where you could get BMOs up the east coast or up to the north, and a bit of a market town as well. Today Susan wanted to come here to check out a coffee shop. So I thought, well, I may as well make a video while I'm here and try and change my mind about a place that I have a pretty negative opinion on, not really based on a lot of logic, just a bit of a gut feel. I'm in the middle of a rice field here. It's called Penangin jogging track. It looks pretty cool. For jogging, I don't know, it's a bit cross country, but it is quite nice out here. It's a little bit cloudy here today in Batubulan, but I am seeing some nice houses. Like there's a really nice house over there. I don't know if it's a Western style house, but it's quite a modern one. The workers here are lagi panen. And the panen is a really good word when you're sort of harvesting stuff. Here in Indonesia, they've got the flowers being harvested, and we'll have a bit of a walk from here to the cafe that Susan's waiting at, see what we can see along the way. I'm actually hopeful that it turns out to be really good, because I think what happens a lot of the times when you come to these places, your mind does get changed. You know, like I've got a memory of Singapore when I first went there. I really didn't like it. I thought, I don't like this place, it's so boring. But over subsequent times that I went back there for various reasons, I learnt to really enjoy it. And I think what happens is you start pulling out the really good parts of each place that you go to. So in Singapore, I've really learnt a lot about the hawker food there, and getting into some of the older, more traditional areas. I got into the whole Indian side of Singapore, which the food scene there is incredible. The Malay food scene in Singapore is incredible. Of course, the Chinese food scene's the headline, but it's not, the other parts of it you don't really think about too much. And I sort of grew to like the efficiency of the place, even though that blandness that a lot of us talk about with Singapore is the thing that we often think about. I think once you go to a place like Singapore a lot more, you start to enjoy it. And I think that's what happens to a lot of places. When you like Kuta, the first time you go to Kuta, you might hate it, but after you go back a few times, you start to understand what draws people to it, and you can learn to love certain parts of it. And it doesn't mean it's got to be your favourite place. So I'm hoping in Batubulan today, I can change my mind from being a grubby old transit town to something that's quite enjoyable. I mean, the start is beautiful, isn't it? This jogging track out here is amazing. I mean, I don't see anyone jogging, but it is a beautiful little spot. It's obviously, the rice has obviously been harvested some time ago there, and they're just letting the fields rest. It's pretty funny how we judge places based on really brief experiences and write them off completely, and I do it as well. One place that I completely wrote off, what was that? Oh, that scared the bejesus out of me. One place that I completely wrote off, and it's still written off in my mind, is South Korea. Based on about 2 meals that I had that were pretty poor. Well, very poor meals actually. Expensive, poor meals. And it just put me off the whole country forever. And it's ridiculous that 2 meals can do that, but that's what happened. And I reckon if I went back to Korea, South Korea I'm talking about, I reckon I might enjoy myself. I mean, a lot of people do love that country, so I probably should give that a go at some stage. And I think we often do that about places in Bali as well. Hate Kuta, hate it, would never go there. But I think you can find joy in a lot of these places. You have preferences, of course. Like I prefer Singapore over South Korea. See? Bit of a village vibe around here. Really nice temple. Look at this one. Can't get in there. That's a nice old wooden door. Beautiful old wooden door. Not really carved too much, but just nice age on it. And there's a temple inside. This is the real village life. Not far from Sonora actually, Batubulan. Less than half an hour. Probably, I think it took us 20 minutes on the motorbike to get here. On some days and at some times of day, there can be a little bit of traffic getting up here. But at other times, if it's really quick, I mean, it could literally take you 15 minutes. Now, without this paved road, you really could be, in Bali 40, 50 years ago. That's what the feel is down here, except for the couple of cars tucked in the garage over there. But it's still got a really old traditional feel about it. It's lovely. Some of these houses actually have really wonderful temples. Look at that. Nice gold statue over there, or gold temple over there with a face on it. It's just, it looks like the temple of the family home, really. But it's a big one. Yeah. It's beautiful, isn't it? Actually, feels quite, I don't know if wealthy is the word, but it feels like there's a bit of money being put into a lot of these places around here. Really beautiful places. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine.
Lagi istirahat ya?
Ya, istirahat.
Ya, lagi jalan-jalan sedikit. Lagi bikin apa?
Bikin batu sikat.
Oh, boleh lihat?
Ya, inside.
Batu sikat? Anjing galak ya? yang siapa yang anjing galak di sini?
Ini lah proses pasang batu sikat. Masih prosesnya di sana, mau lihat?
Ya, boleh. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at the stone. This is how they do the stonework. Look at that. So they put the concrete down, then puts a bit of, I don't know what powder that is. And then they put the wet stones in. Oh, wow.
Itu bikin batu.
Oh.
Dimasang. Prosesnya pasir dicampur sama semen.
Ya.
Terus di atasnya ditata batu.
Nah, batunya dari mana?
Batunya ada spesial.
Ada. Oh, dari sungai atau
Laut.
dari laut gini. Oh, wow. Jadi nanti pakai mesin untuk ratain.
Nah,
Manual. Oh.
Kalau ini skill, pakai ini skill. Keahlian dia aja punya keahlian. Kalau kita nggak bisa.
Harus punya keahliannya.
Kalau kita bisa batang ini, cuma hasilnya nggak bagus. Ini kita bisa ini. Hasilnya mau munculnya berapa senti dari ini, mau berapa gitu. Kita diatur.
Ya. Oke ya, makasih ya. Aku jalan lagi ya, makasih ya. Ya.
Ini kombinasinya, garisnya harus putih.
Oh.
Ada juga
Jadi ini apa? Ini cat atau warna asli?
warna asli nih.
Oh.
Ini batu, warna asli. Ini kombinasinya harus putih. Terus kalau mau isi gambar, ini ada juga bisa gambar.
Ya.
Pakai
Mereka bisa juga.
Bisa.
Oh. Dan ini lumayan lurus juga ya, yang ini.
Ya masangnya itu udah keahliannya dia. Kita nggak ahli masang bisa aja ke pinggir.
Proses itu mahal atau enggak?
Prosesnya itu dia ngambil per meter.
Oh iya.
Meternya berapa?
Dibandingkan semen asli gimana? Jauh lebih mahal.
Jauh lebih mahalan ini.
Ya.
Ini baru juga masang. Dia masang.
Ya.
Ini kemarin pasang sampai seluas ini nih.
Wow.
9 jutaan.
Oh ya?
Ya.
Oh. Tapi lumayan oke karena ini lumayan besar loh.
Tahan lama Pak. Ini kayak ini loh.
Oh ya. Mereka bisa begitu juga.
Iya ini. Kalau ini mau gambar ini kan bunga kombinasinya ada bunga apa mau diminta bunga mawar bisa. Banyak variasi ininya.
Ya.
Ini aja.
Ya.
Mau tulisan Halida Pisan.
Ya, ada banyak kayak gitu juga ya Pak. Oke, makasih Pak. Ya. Oke, makasih. Makasih ya. Ya, makasih ya. Ya. Oh, well, that's interesting. You don't learn about that stuff every day, do you? We now know how the batu sikat works. And we know what it's called. I didn't even know what it's called, batu sikat, that stonework that they do. That guy's got the whole front part done for 9 million. There's a lot of money in Balinese terms, but it does sound pretty cheap for the amount of labour that's involved. They've got like, I don't know how many guys are working on that, over 10 guys, putting all those stones down in concrete. Tiada hari tanpa dirimu. There's not a day without yourself. Diri is a really interesting word. It's a word that's associated with yourself, or someone's, the self, not just you or I. it's about self, but often it's used poetically. And in songs you hear it a lot, really. Oh, look at that, Sam Guling. I will get back to that deity thing. Oh, look at that. Sam Guling, Jobra Pagi. Look at that. Oh, that looks beautiful. Nice bits of pork in there. Hello. Yeah. Pagi. That'd be cool to have some. If I wasn't going to that cafe, I would be eating there, that's for sure. Yeah, so in a lot of songs you hear the word deity because it has quite a poetic feel to it when you use it in certain ways. So that was obviously used poetically there, and it might not mean there's not a day without yourself. It might actually mean there's not a day without you. But the deity mu gives it a little bit more of a feel. So to get an idea of where I am exactly, we're in Banjar Pagutan Kaja, which is part of the Desa Adat Jerokuta, which is in Batubulan, that's what it says. It's a very, very neat and tidy, I was going to say housing complex, but village is a better word. Very neat and tidy, it's beautiful. I would love to live in a place like this, although the chickens might drive you mad, but it just has a really nice feel about it. And the people here have been pleasant so far. They seem to have I was going to say they seem to have a bit of money, but they do seem to have a bit more money than some other places. What's that? Art Culture Space Museum. There's a villa and a coffee and eatery. I'm going to check it out. I'm not sure, 250 metres is not far from me to walk, so I'm going to walk down there, have a look what that is. I might even just drop in and have a quick coffee, if they've got coffee going, before I get to the coffee shop that Susan is waiting for me at. Strange place though to have something that seems so commercial. Like it seems like a big business is down here somewhere, and I'm literally in the middle of a village. Well, this appears to be it in some lovely gardens. Some sort of cafe. I'm the only person here though, except the staff. Oh, a nice little setup here. Sad that there's not more people. Looks like I can do some traditional way of cooking, and then a pond with some nice chairs out there to sit down and have your coffee at, which I won't do. I'll go over there, I reckon. I'm still not exactly sure what this place is, so I'm going to try and find that out while I'm having my coffee. So it's a little bit odd. Okay, got my coffee. Look at that one. Looks good. The lady was just explaining to me that they do a whole heap of things, like you can go and learn gamelan here. They've got some, it's like an informal thing. It's not like a course, but you can come here and learn gamelan a couple of days a week or something. Not sure what the story is with it. You also get to go in that, there's a museum there. You get to go in there for free if you buy a coffee. So, well, I'll be doing that. I can actually hear a gamelan going in the background, so it must be live.
Ah, mantap.
That's a good coffee. That is a very good coffee. Good one. Thank you. I actually don't have a lot of hope when I come to some of these places because they're not built to focus on coffee. So to get it right is sometimes difficult, but they've done a really good job here. Love it. No wonder that's a good coffee. They're actually using Tanah Merah coffee, which is a pretty famous brand here in Indonesia. 30,000. I think that's a good price, inclusive of tax. Still not sure what I'm walking into here. If this is a museum or just a storage room of doors and carving. Not really sure. I'm drawn to the gamelan sound over to the right, so that's where I'm going to go. Hello, hello! Kids learning the gamelan. That's cool. Like, so that's what's going on. A lot of different groups come down here and learn. Apparently there's a foreigner group that comes down here and practices as well. They've got their own special foreigner group, which is pretty interesting. Okay, I've just actually whipped through these two buildings and I can't show you inside because they say don't take a video, so I won't do that. I'll respect what they ask. But there are some amazing wood carvings in there, and I don't really get too excited about wood carvings normally, or any carvings. They're nice, but for me they're usually just for sale, aren't they? But because these are special pieces from a long time ago, Zaman Dulu, they are fascinating. There are some doors in there, some old doors from 1800 that look incredible as well. It's a fantastic little museum. You know, it's not massive. It's not something that's going to bore you for hours and hours on end. It's something you sort of whip through, have a look at, and it's quite good. The children have cranked up the gamelan now, so let's have a look at this too. I'm loving this place. So this museum's called Wiswakarma. And I don't know why there aren't people coming here. Well, I do know why, because people don't know about it, but I think it's a place that people should come to at least. You know, on a half-day trip, you could easily come up here, go and have a coffee. I don't know if they do a bit of food over there at the cafe. Come and have a look at the museum, if the kids are playing, have a listen to what they're doing. It's just beautiful, beautiful. You have to come here. I really love this place. And it's not touristy at all. It hasn't got that old touristy thing going on that we sometimes are a little bit averse to here in Bali. Yeah, it's quite nice, quite good. I do like it. What it feels like is the person who's running the show absolutely loves Balinese art and culture and is trying to preserve it. That's what it feels like. And when you hear, I mean, it oozes out of this place, you know, just on the side of the porch here. Like there's these old lounges and stuff just sitting there because the dude's obviously collected them over the years and, you know, just put them out there. Beautiful, beautiful place. Oh, I've ended up down at the toilets and it's not where I was just trying to get out. You know, I've only just stumbled upon this because I was walking past in a pretty remote, well, not a remote part, but like in a pretty, yeah, unpopular part of Bali. I reckon this must go on all over the place where there are little pockets of absolutely brilliant things here in Bali that just aren't really well exposed. I mean, I could easily have turned down a different road. Honestly, I could easily have turned down a different road. I could have even just walked past it like I was going to. I saw it and go, 250 meters, I can't bother, I'll do it. You know, easily could have gone the other way and then you just don't know about it. But you make the effort and it's just really good. As I said, it's not something you're going to come to for a whole day. You're going to come up here for probably an hour and then probably go to a couple of other things in the area and then go back to your hotel. But that's sort of what I want to do in Bali these days anyway. I don't want to go off on a sort of a 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. type day trip anyway. Like I'm tired by about 10 a.m. usually, so it's time for a nap. So that's a really good trip to do for a couple of hours. If you take your travel time included, come up to here and do a few other things, you've got a 3-hour trip on your hands. Brilliant. The other thing is you don't even have to be an art buff or a history buff, which I am neither of those, to enjoy that place. You just have to appreciate the Balinese styling to get something out of that, you know. The thing that fires me up a lot is when you hear that gamelan going as well, like it just gets, you know, all the hairs on the back of the neck stand up. Oh, there's a big lizard in there somewhere. And I suppose if you're a foreigner looking to learn a bit more about gamelan, you might look them up because they've probably got a bit of information about what's going on. I mean, I don't know because I haven't got onto their website or anything. I don't really know much about the program there, but it seems like it's possible to join that place and practice a bit. I'm not sure what the format is, but yeah, interesting. That'd be pretty cool, isn't it? Wouldn't it? If you had sort of stopped working and you wanted to take up a new musical instrument, you could be part of one of the gamelan sort of crew. That'd be cool. Another one of these signs that we see all around the place in Bali these days. That is a reminder that the throwing of or discarding of rubbish around the place breaks these rules. Hello. You'll know that the rubbish situation in Bali's been a little bit ordinary for a while, and there were times when my rubbish didn't get picked up for 3 weeks. In the past week, my rubbish has now been picked up 3 times. So I don't know why, if something's changed or whether it's just randomly, because sometimes the rubbish is a little bit random, the pickup service, but yeah, in our street at least, for the past week, it's been beautiful. But about a month ago, it was not, you know. They're still trying to get, you know, on top of that whole rubbish collection service. I'm not sure if they're just going back to the old system, which often happens here in Indonesia, where if some of the changes are too hard, things just revert back to their normal form. I've seen it happen a lot in Bandung in West Java, where I spent all that time. A new government will come in, or there'll be a new program introduced, and it's actually quite good. But over time, things slide back into the old way of doing things, and 10 years down the line, you've made no progress. They've got everything here. There's a place called Cheeseworks. Have it here, the best yogurt. Interesting. They've got a yogurt place all within walking distance. Amazing. Have I just stumbled upon an area of Bali that I never knew about, that obviously some other people do know about? They're sort of like this new creative part of Bali, maybe like the new Ubud style thing. Another one there. This area is monitored by CCTV, and in the strongest term, they forbid the discarding of rubbish around here. Well, the reason that's there is because we're coming across a bridge, and we know the rivers are a classic area where people like to dump their rubbish. So you'll see a bike come along and sling it whoosh, over the edge. And we'll have a look over the bottom here to see if there is any rubbish down there. That'll be a good indicator if it's happening still. Well, it's hardly anything. Maybe it's all been washed away. Nah. That just doesn't look dirty down there. Although, no, it's not dirty down there. I just saw a bucket in the tree, but I mean, that's just not, I mean, it's rubbish, but it's not too bad. There's a fire burning over there, which is probably rubbish. But I guess if someone's already dumped the rubbish, what are you going to do? Like, really, what are you going to do? You can pick it up and get a truck to pick it up, but then people will keep dumping it there and thinking it's their local rubbish dump. I don't know. God, this rubbish situation, it needs to be sorted from the source, doesn't it? Like, you basically need to have everyone's rubbish picked up for free at their house, all across Bali, which doesn't happen. Like, I mean, I pay, I think it's $75,000 a month for my rubbish to be picked up. I don't think that's very cheap, actually. I mean, I don't mind paying it, but it's not, for Indonesia, that's pretty expensive. And some people pay a lot more. There is a beautiful temple over there, Pura Dalam Taat. It's interesting, when you come along these places, look at that, beautiful person with two babies, twins. Seems to be, is that some sort of, I don't know if that's a kuburan, a graveyard, but it's interesting, isn't it? Because you come along these places in the cars quite a lot. Okay, Setra Taha. So that is a kuburan there, the graveyard. Setra is that Balinese word for a cemetery. Yeah, it's interesting because you come across these places all the time when you're in the car driving around Bali, and you sort of speed past them because you're on your way to somewhere else. And you never even really think about getting out and walking around because there's not really any one thing in particular that you're interested in seeing. But when you do come out and walk the streets, it's actually really interesting, you know? Now, I think Susan's Cafe is, I think it's down there. I will go down here anyway. Okay, that's not that place, that's some other place. Wrong way. Probably should rely on the map a little bit more. But I find that if I get the map out all the time and I follow the map, I find that I miss a lot of stuff because as I said, when you're in the car, for example, you sort of get focused on the direction you're heading and you don't allow yourself to wander. Problem is you do get lost. So it takes you a bit longer to get where you're going, but it's all part of the journey. The other thing about where I'm walking right now is that not 200 meters in that direction, maybe 100 meters, is the main road that goes to Ubud from the south of Bali. And it's a pretty awful road most of the time, quite busy, full of all the commercial businesses, of course, and people are in and out of there. It's just like the high street. And we sometimes mix that up with the way a village really is. So that's somehow how I've probably gotten my experience of Batubulan in the past, and I haven't really explored these back streets like I'm doing now. And I'm getting a much more pleasant feel about this place now that I'm in the back streets. It's getting warm. The other thing I like about coming down some of these back streets and like going to really, it's not anti-mainstream places, it's more places that purposely I will go to places that other people don't go to sometimes. The reason I like to do that is because I often get to fuel my desire to learn about really weird stuff. Like that batu sikat earlier is something I've always wondered about, but you're not going to sort of go off on your own and try and learn about it. It's something that you need to stumble upon, and you don't stumble upon it unless you're really like in the back streets and some dude's redoing his floors. And I often find that I do come across these weird things from time to time, and I love that because it's sort of, well, I'm just curious about a lot of stuff around here in Bali, and you know, that tourist veneer really does a bit of damage for us in that it stops us from seeing how things operate here in real life, and I find that sort of dampens your experience here a little bit in Bali. Is that sometimes if you're stuck on that very surface level, you don't get to learn as much as you probably would otherwise. And I'm always about learning new things, even though they're not really useful. Like, I'm never going to make my own batu sikat, but I reckon it's pretty cool. I think I'm heading in the right direction. Susan's been giving me text messages saying it's very difficult to find this place. You will see a lot of tourist vans there, but don't go near them because it's not it. It's actually, there's no other tourists there. The tourist vans are for something else. So if you see the tourist vans, you go in the wrong direction. So keep that in mind. The other thing is, she said something about a tunnel, and if you hear an ATV coming through it, don't go in, which is a bit odd as well. Like, do I have to go through a tunnel to get to a cafe that ATVs pass? Like, that's weird, isn't it? Look at that. That's a beautiful entrance to a house, isn't it? That is a beautiful one. Oh, that's an old school warrel. Love that. Has a real old feel about it with a little bench out here. Beautiful old warrel. You know what? They've got an old TV, black and white TV, in there from about 1975, maybe 1985 here in Bali, or 95 maybe. Colour TV came a bit later in Bali, I think. I think I was watching TV on a small black and white TV even up until, hang on a second, this can't be the way to go. Susan didn't come down here on the motorbike, and I don't see the motorbike parked around here anywhere. Anyway, we'll keep going. Okay, we're somewhere, and there's a sign saying sore, which is where we're going. Sore means the afternoon. It's actually a good reminder for the times of day. So selamat pagi is obviously morning, anything before 12 o'clock. But if you're getting close to 12, you can actually say siang, which is midday. So anything from about, I don't know, 11:30 to 1 o'clock, I reckon, or even 2 o'clock could be siang. It's not like a rule, it's just, all right. She did say I have to go through here. This is the tunnel that she's talking about. Did she say go through it or don't go through it? Anyway, we're going through it. Yeah, and then sore is, like, for example, 2 o'clock up until about, I don't know, 5 o'clock. And then there are other ones that are around the dusk time, but you don't really use them very much. And then we get straight into the night, which is selamat malam. And we can say selamat malam in a different way. Like, it's a greeting in Indonesian, rather than, like, if we say selamat malam in English, we're saying goodbye. I wonder if I was supposed to come through here. It doesn't feel like you're supposed to walk through here. Well, there's an ATV. Well, this is weird. Probably should read my text messages again. Was it go through there or don't go through there? Okay, she said, do not enter if you hear an ATV, which is what I did not. I went in because I didn't hear an ATV, but now I come down here, I'm actually in the middle of an ATV track, because look at that. That's where I am. So I've got no idea where I am now. Oh, might have to give her a call. Yeah, I went through the tunnel, I got to a lake. What do I do now? Your text message said, do not enter the tunnel if you hear an ATV. I didn't hear an ATV, so I went in. Oh, you've already been down here, have you? How did you know there's a lake at the end? All right, I've got no idea what's going on here, but I can hear ATVs everywhere. There's a dude over there. He's probably wondering why I'm here, because I've come up the ATV track through the tunnel. I'll get through the tunnel, hope I don't get run over. So that was the wrong way. So that's what happens when you've got different communication styles. Oh, that's the other end of the lake. All right, fair enough. I thought Susan said, don't come through the tunnel if you hear an ATV. And I didn't hear one, so I thought, well, means I can go through. Whereas she's saying, if you hear an ATV and you see a tunnel, don't go through that because that's not the right way. Still don't know where I'm going though. I'm at a temple. It's quite beautiful. That looks like a cafe over there. Let's have a look. Okay, I know I'm in the right spot because I can see my motorbike. That's a bit of an effort, wasn't it? There she is, isn't it? She's been waiting there for like the past hour and a half waiting for me to make this video. Hello. Beautiful place, look at this. Nice spot. I think the best advice I would give any cafe owner is if you own a business, put a sign up that helps people get to your place. This is a really cool Nongkrong spot, especially if you've just been to that museum and so forth, or you've been out to the rice field that I started off in, and on a sunny day, obviously it's going to look a little bit better if the rice fields are currently or pre-harvest and they're all bright green and so forth. Beautiful place to sort of hang out. I reckon you'd easily spend a few hours here, like easily, and then come to this place afterwards just to sort of hang out, Nongkrong for a little while, have a cold drink or a coffee or whatever. I'm just going to get a nice coffee, 32,300. Good spot, really good spot. Has a bit of style to it too, a nice sunlight coming in, but still quite cool in here. They've got the AC going. Yeah, I don't mind Batubulan at all. Don't mind it. I think there's a lot to explore here. I think if you had more time and went up more of these back streets, there's heaps to find around here. It's a little bit unknown, a little bit sort of on the up and up. One of those places that's got a good feel about it. Looks nice, doesn't it? That nice little view out there, and got my coffee going. It's just basically a big glass of milk, isn't it, at the end of the day with a shot of coffee in it. But I need more liquid and I need my coffee. So it's a good little middle ground.
Mantap.
That's good. Yeah, definitely a place to come for a coffee after your little walk around Batubulan. I reckon you could even probably pop into the markets over in Batubulan, which are a pretty major market in this area. And that's sort of over the other side of the main road, but I haven't been to that side today, and that's the part I remember is a little bit more rough. It's a bit more, I mean, that's what happens at markets, isn't it? A bit more rough and ready, where I've sort of taken the nature trail today, if you like. And I really love that part about Bali, is that you can always get a different aspect to the place that you're going just by walking a different direction, which is what I've done today. So thank you very much for coming along for the ride today. Thanks to all the members who have signed up recently. Really appreciate your support. It allows me to come and do these things like I have done today here in Batubulan. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sonora and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.